And welcome in to be our guest. You know, you've often heard the term, I'm from the government and I'm here to help you. Well, you know, that's all you have to do is watch the news. After the few past months have gone by, we found out that a lot of government agencies haven't really been delivering on the promise, especially with something like the Veterans Administration. Many of you may have tried to do things with Social Security, and sometimes you're going to need an advocate or somebody to help you get through all the red tape. And my guest today is Kay Dansby. And Kay, you're an attorney.
Yes, sir.
And you and I have been buddies for a long time.
Absolutely.
And Kay, in the area of Social Security, and I'm so old, I remember when Social Security was just designed for people, you put money in, you hit an age, and you got money out. But that's changed, hasn't it? How does Social Security work now?
It has. You still put the money in, and if you reach full retirement age, which changes, you get the money out. But if you become unable to work prior to reaching that age, then you draw it out in the form of disability, which is in effect early retirement.
So the disability means the fact that you can no longer work, but that predicates the fact that you are working and now you can't work. But is Social Security also available for people who have never worked?
Yes, it is. It's called Supplemental Security Income, or SSI. That is the needs-based program, so you have to qualify financially as well as medically.
Okay. And basically, when that happens, a person usually will go to the Social Security Administration and say, okay, I need some help here, but like I said on the onset of the show, it's a little hard to navigate that, isn't it?
It is. And so my firm has started in the last couple of years helping people from their initial application, where it used to be that we told people to go apply on your own, and if you don't get it, then come to us. But they need the advocacy from day one now.
So a person, let's just say, one of our viewers has either probably maybe a grandchild, because a lot of them are, and that grandchild is in need of some assistance, they can go directly to the Social Security Administration themselves, or they can come to you.
That's correct.
And if they come to you, how's the procedure work normally?
Okay, if they come to us and they have not yet applied, then we file an initial application for them. We do that online now. You can apply online, by phone, or in person. So we get it started, and then there's an initial determination that's done by the state agency called Disability Determination Services, and if that's denied, then we request a hearing, and that's where we do most of our work before the administrative law judges.
So if they have a hearing, that means that you are going to go before somebody that's going to determine whether or not you really have a legitimate claim for the Social Security.
That's correct. They are administrative law judges, and they work only for Social Security, and that's what they do all day. They determine if people meet the requirements for disability.
And basically then they're working on the federal level at that point, are they not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And again, with Social Security, if a person such as myself, when I'm looking for Social Security, it's going to be to supplement the fact that, well, it's something that I've put in over the years. And by law, you're required to put money into Social Security, aren't you?
Yes, sir. That FICA comes out of my paycheck every time, whether I wanted to or not.
That's right. And normally what happens is, if you're an employer out there, you're matching the employee's portion of that Social Security.
Yes, sir.
And it does become somewhat of a savings account, and people can either draw it out a little bit early, or as you said, it's a moving target.
Right.
Because that age keeps going up, and of course, depending on when you take it out, the amount of money that you can have.
That's correct. If you did the early retirement at age 62, it's a reduced amount for life. If you do the disability, if you are determined to be disabled, that's the full retirement amount, as if you had reached full retirement age. For me, it's 66 and a half.
Okay.
It changes.
Like you say, it's a moving ball.
Yes.
And I think one of the reasons they've done that is to make sure that there's going to be adequate money in the account.
Yes, sir.
Because what's happened, obviously, is when it was put in there, if everybody that just put money in got the money out, it should be okay. But when they had to do the supplemental kinds of things, that put a little bit of a strain on it.
That's true. And young people become disabled before they have time to put enough money in.
Especially, again, they may be disabled in their work.
Correct.
And obviously, or they can be disabled just from an accident, too.
That's true. Accident, injury, illness.
So can they have disability, Social Security, and workman's comp at the same time?
Yes, sir.
So those two things can kind of come in. And how does that work?
There is an offset. There's a formula that Social Security applies so that there's an offset so that you don't draw the full amount of both, but you can still draw both. And that's really common because people get injured on the job. They get their workers' comp, and then they're not able to return to work, so then they become disabled.
Okay, so then they're eligible in Part 2.
Yes.
Okay. So if one of our viewers has any questions with regard to navigating the system, they can call you.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm sure that the initial consultation is at no cost. And
That's correct.
And then, obviously, if you can do something for them, it's like anything else. You're doing some work.
Yes, sir, but we work on contingency, so
Okay.
we don't get paid unless our clients get
Unless
paid.
they get something out of it.
Yes.
And they can just contact you. We're going to put it on the screen at the Dansby Law Firm.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Kay, you've been sitting here this whole thing, and every time you're talking to me, you're saying, sir. That's because she has respect for her elders. But you and I are buddies enough, you can say, okay, Jack, you can do that.
Chuck, I was raised in the South.
I
It
know
just
you
comes
were.
naturally.
Listen, it's a pleasure to have you here. And just remember this, if you do need help, sometimes it can be a maze. People like Kay can get you through that maze. And we'll be right back right after this.